The former CEO of clothing retailer Abercrombie and Fitch has been arrested on federal sex trafficking and interstate prostitution charges. Mike Jeffries, his partner, and a third associate are accused of recruiting young men under the guise of modeling opportunities and coercing them to perform sex acts. The indictment claims the sex trafficking happened from 2008 through 2015. Our partners at BBC News reported on some of the allegations last year, and one alleged victim who filed a class action lawsuit spoke about their experience. He's part of what he told the BBC.
I was made to believe, look, this is where everybody gets their start. This is where you want to get your start. It was like he was selling fame. And the price was compliance.
Rianna Croxford has been following this story from London. She's an investigations correspondent for BBC News. Rianna, thanks for being here. First, tell us more about the BBC's role in all of this. What did your investigation uncover?
So this all began with a documentary and podcast series that we released in October last year called the Abercrombie Guise. Several men came forward to say that Mike Jeffries had sexually abused them at events he hosted around the world in major cities like London, New York, Venice, and Marrakesh. We also found that Jeffries and his British partner, Matthew Smith, were at the centre of a highly organised operation involving a middleman named James Jacobson, who today was also arrested. And now these were really, really elaborate events. I spoke with a man just last month who told me that back in 2011, he was recruited for a photo shoot in Spain. And when he got there, it wasn't a photo shoot at all. Instead, Mike Jeffries had transformed an entire presidential suite of a hotel room into a literal Abercrombie store. He said it was like a movie set, and he was encouraged to engage in role play and was subsequently abused by Mike Jeffries. He felt like he was a victim in his very own sexual fantasy. We also heard about other extraordinary events, including in Marrakesh, for which I was told up to 60 men were flown in to entertain Jeffries and his friends. And now most of those men who spoke to me have been contacting me today, telling me that they are overwhelmed by news of the arrest. They are overwhelmed that they are finally being heard and that these men may now be facing justice.
I mean, the details of which we have only scratched the surface are so disturbing. How was this able to go on for so long, and why was he not arrested until Tuesday?
So the men I spoke with told me that for years they felt silenced by non-disclosure agreements that they had signed, legal documents telling them that they could be sued for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars if they spoke out, money that they all said they didn't have. On top of that, we're talking about same-sex abuse. A lot of the victims are men, a lot of whom identify as heterosexual, some of whom are gay, and they said they also felt silenced by intense feelings of shame. Now, it was only because of the BBC's reporting that this came to light last year. I understand the FBI opened an investigation following our podcast series and documentary. I can't speak to the timing of the arrest, but what we do know is that this morning they were arrested and charged with running an international sex trafficking business.
We know Jeffries' attorney has said he would respond in detail to the allegations when appropriate, but plan to do so in the courthouse, not the media. How serious are these charges, and could he potentially face charges in other countries?
So tonight, Jeffries was released on bail. He, his partner Matthew Smith, and their middleman James Jacobson are due to appear in federal court on Friday. And if convicted, they could be facing life in prison.
Has there been any response from Abercrombie and Fitch?
Abercrombie and Fitch today hasn't commented on news of the arrest, but they previously told the BBC that these allegations were abhorrent, and they emphasised to us that they have drastically transformed as a company under new leadership, very much hoping to strike a line under its past, given that Jeffries retired in 2014.
Rianna, from your reporting, if you were across the table from somebody telling them the top lines of what you uncovered, what you think people should walk away from, what would you tell them?
This is a story about young men who had dreams to be models, dreams to make it in the fashion and entertainment industry. Too often I have heard that those dreams get crushed by predatory agents, moguls, and today we're seeing the ramifications of some of these allegations of people being heard. But really, this is a story about men speaking out, men feeling heard. So rarely do we hear allegations from men. So rarely do we hear men be vulnerable in this way. So I would really encourage people to go and listen to the podcast, to listen to their stories in their own words, and really, really reflect on what they say and the impact that this had on them.
Rianna Croxford, thank you.